the July 12th Board of Selectmen meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens' comments, we have none. Correspondence and announcements. Oh, yeah, sorry, approval of minutes from June 28th.
Who's absent?
Second, I reviewed minutes.
You weren't here.
I wasn't here, okay.
Okay.
You're right.
So I'll second that. Is there any discussion on those minutes?
No.
Okay, so all in favor of approving the June 28th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, there. Correspondence and announcements. I don't really have any correspondence or announcements. Bassett Mill Road, we're going to be doing drain. We have to replace some drains there, and we're hoping to start that tomorrow. So Bassett Mill Road, we're planning on doing it in a way where only one side of the road will be closed at a time, so that there can still be traffic going through.
Did you find out from the surveyors?
No, I've called people and I'm waiting to hear back. So. Board and committee reports. Does anyone else have announcements or anything?
Just the Carl Anderson died.
Oh, yeah.
Town wants to long-time resident.
Yeah. We sent condolences to his Kate is on the, she's the chair of the board.
Yep.
So Kate, full for it.
So I spoke.
Gotcha. Board and committee reports, none. Finance report.
All right, so Tony and I discussed the second Tuesday of the month, we'll do a finance report, so he'll do his piece, I'll do mine. He hasn't done his yet, but I started figuring we just do a little bullet point with just of how the budget's going each month, and things to worry about, things that look good, things that look bad. So you have here just a few little notes, and then a copy of what the actual budget to date is right now. Collections was great. We were up 177 for the year. And between permits, conveyance, special education, pilot, all our revenue really was up this past year. So we're almost 350 total, 350,000 total up than what we expected. And we expect to turn in about 15,000 by the time we're done. So there's the revenue piece and then the expense piece. So we're under budget on the expense piece as well. So probably total, depending on everything, will be about
365.
No, 335. No, 365. Yeah, 365.
Right. Okay.
It's depending on the. I would say 350 just to, when you have all the final numbers in. But most of it's all because of revenue.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed for winter. Oh, no.
That was the last one I heard.
Yeah.
No.
So this is the end of fiscal year 21-22. So there's really not much to report yet for the newest fiscal year. We're only 2 weeks in. So.
Does anyone have any questions for Julie?
No.
So she did really good on pulling in money from prior year taxes that were owed. That's why it's so much higher, and that's not something you can predict, and you can't really budget for.
That's right. The show they care about.
Okay. So if no one has any questions, we'll move on to old business. ARPA funds update. We just have, that's on the agenda later, so there's nothing new besides what's on the agenda. Ordinance, no changes. Wiley Schoolhouse, no changes. We're still waiting on the part. Progress with grants. So we received word from, I printed it out and I think I forgot to grab it.
I think it's on there separately too, unfortunately.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that. I was just on here later on. But we got a word with a grant for the grant for the bridge, that they're gonna cover, it'll be covered 100%.
100.
Woohoo.
That's great. 460,000 would be good then.
Yeah. So,
Let's tear the church down.
so that is good news, because we were, like you said, we were expected to put at least 400,000 towards it.
It's very exciting.
What changed that?
Just the way that they're funding the grant, I think we just, I don't
The
know.
construction portion was covered 80% before, and now the Fed has decided, I don't know if it's infrastructure bill, they will be covering 100% of the construction cost.
Any way they can receive that?
I don't think so.
We should do another bridge.
How many bridges do we have in there? You know?
That's the biggest one. So the rest are
So
smaller.
there's one on Main, isn't the one on Main Street bigger?
That's not ours.
Oh, okay, no, State Road.
Also built
Yeah.
in 1927.
Yeah, those are state.
But State Road, so.
Yeah.
And then there's one along the school road further down by
We did that one.
the airport turn.
I think we did that one already, so,
Yeah, that one was already worked on.
yeah. So,
There are a bunch of smaller ones,
there's smaller
10 to
ones.
15 of them, but they're, anywhere from like a really big culvert to less than 25.
But probably all 100+ years old.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to truck accident away from my bed. Damn.
Beach pond drawdown update, no new news.
I had a suggestion.
Yeah.
Mesa sale following Wednesday, we can draw it down 2 feet, but it occurred to me that patch out when they do their dam work.
Yeah.
Drew down quite a bit more, and I
Yeah.
thought it might be worth asking for the powers of Hartford to look at dams that maybe this would be an ideal time, since it's 1/3 of a century old at this point.
Yeah.
We want to inspect the footings of the dam, and that might get us to what
Okay.
people really want. Because it's been explained to me by a number of the property owners that a 2-foot drawdown actually does more damage than good.
Yeah.
Because it lowers the water enough so it gets to the foundation of the wall. You can't pour concrete, you can't really repair anything, because the water's slapping up against it.
Right.
So it's,
Okay, I'll do that. The dam guy that I've been working with, he was one of
Dam
the,
guy?
yeah, he was one of the people that just retired as far as on June 30th. So they have a new person there, so, that's the dam guy. It's all that doesn't sound good today. He is in charge of all the dams in the state, one person, so,
DAM guy.
yeah.
Yes. New end.
Yeah. The Title VI coordinator, I'm working on that, so I'm getting pushed out. The Fort Hill Bridge, I think we just talked about that. The Municipal ISP Commission.
I'm behind on that. I will have the, right up to that, probably not next meeting, the meeting after, because I'm not being here for the next meeting. And I'm not trying to time this.
For meetings.
Yeah. So I'm actually at summer camp for the one after that, but that's 10 minutes away. That I plan on attending. So.
The 957B.
we tried to speak to Tony, who's not in today.
Okay.
But I think we can't do anything until September anyway. We're going to close down this Prudential sold off that for business
Okay.
to a different insurance company. But what I'll ask you to do is arrange,
The potential piece is that's the state one.
that's the State Department, to ask if the wholesaler who represents the state or the insurance carriers come in and do a presentation and then ask the board if they can come at the same time.
Wait a minute.
Or maybe do it on Thursday night when the board meets, so it's not inconvenience and those. It's a damn guy.
The meeting house RFP went out. It's going until August, so we haven't heard anything, any questions. So,
And that RFP was for what again?
So for someone to buy the building.
Got it.
So I don't know if we're gonna get anyone.
Have we started thinking about drafting the next article?
Well, the next thing would be, the Connecticut, the Connecticut Historic Preservation Group, gave us a link, information for I can't remember what they're called. When you're selling like a house, they come in and for like what's in there.
Restoration.
Yeah, no, for like, to sell what's in there. What's it called?
Pickers.
Something like that. It is something like that. but-
Salvage.
Yeah, salvage. For a salvage company, so we could, see if anything in there. The beams.
The chestnut beams?
Yeah.
It's chestnut.
The invaluable chestnut beams that have this project.
Yes, yes.
Beams.
So
And,
let's get, that 50 cents. Those beams.
So we have that, and we need to figure out, in the time that's gonna take for the town, because the town's gonna have to approve the funds for the building to come down, if that's where we go. We still need to figure out how to keep the roof secure before hurricane season. So
Tonight.
that's the next is, the Connecticut, Historic Preservation Group. They also suggested rubber, like a rubber top, but I don't know how that's gonna work, because I don't know what the rubber's gonna stick to, because the shingles are like.
The wrong new boards.
Yeah.
You need more stuff.
So let me be very blunt. Are they talking just for the roof, or are we going to do a whole building combo?
Giant church flag.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we would have to do.
I think 2 cables and 2 big Mack trucks are probably a better solution than this one.
We're being recorded.
Yeah,
That's gonna be on public TV.
That's okay. Would you like me to see if we have more than one viewer? Right now?
We'll probably rack up the views if we keep talking like this. Yeah, so
we just,
I don't know.
I would encourage us to move as expeditiously. as
Yeah,
possible.
that's
So before hurricane
I think
season.
that kills them.
So what we can do is just start working on the backup plan right now, so we're ready to go.
That's why I was asking about it. So let's not wait for this RFP
So I can
because
start
we're probably
looking
not going to
for,
get.
I'll talk to the, what do they call him? The
Salvage.
salvage guy, and see if he can help with that, and then come up with a estimated cost for, we're gonna have to remediate the building to tear it down, because it has asbestos.
Does it?
Yes.
Where?
On the outside and on the inside. So.
Kerosene keeps on like a better.
The whole back on the outside, is asbestos, and we think the floor in there is, yes.
So I can't even imagine how they were going to try to abate it. Because abatement for asbestos is full tenting with a negative pressure environment. So they have to be able to put a bubble around it and keep air so air is only being drawn in. I'm not even sure it's.
Maybe the rats will leave it.
So I'm gonna refer back to my fellow selectman Jim's idea of kerosene. Maybe our only safe.
Liable.
Yeah.
This doesn't burn, you go lower it is after.
So, I will talk to, the
Abatement will be
Connecticut,
much easier then. You don't have to worry about the roof falling in on you while you're trying to scrape it all up in a positive pressure suit.
I'll
We
connect
should
with the
probably also
Connecticut.
check with the liability insurance, because the people who are in the building are working.
Well,
Well, it should be their liability insurance.
We need
we have,
Yeah.
we do have it, because we just went through the insurance policy and we talked about
to sell the bill. $52,000.
that. Yeah, so we did, they know about that, we talked about it. So. But I will.
Can we get a quote for the insurance? How much our liability insurance will go down if that building is no longer covered, like when it's gone?
I don't think it changes.
I don't think
it.
it's gonna be that much, because the building itself is only worth, covered. We don't have it covered for,
Anything, it's not
to
covered for
replace if
damage.
it does burn down, we just have liability if somebody gets hurt while they're there.
Yeah.
So there's no replacement value in the.
Right, I know there's no replacement value, but the liability value cost may be
We
significant.
don't really look at that.
Compared to all the
Okay.
town properties, it's a small fee.
Okay,
We can ask.
no, I was just wondering if that would be, or a
I
part of
don't
the
think it
pitch
was
to the
because we
town.
didn't.
It's
So we
just,
will
I think it's just a one
fight us
blanket,
on.
I think there's one blanket liability on all property in the town, so it wouldn't change it at all.
Okay.
If there's a replacement value insurance policy in there, yes, but like obviously the town hall has a replacement value.
You put a price on bringing another ramshackle church building. It's priceless.
So,
Where we could get the asbestos.
Yeah, really.
I will look for, the salvage, or I'll contact the salvage person, I'll find out from the historical group, they must know people that do like the asbestos containment,
Yeah,
and, figure out a price on, bringing it down to them, bring that to the town. And I was gonna move that up.
You know, things like the pews and so forth and so on.
I'm thinking maybe, because I thought maybe we could get those out. Those might be something for salvaging, but we could probably, like, maybe we could do like a fundraiser on it and like sell them, and the money can go towards, because I want, ideally that would be a good place for a small, like, park. Like, I was thinking if we leave the steps there, I think the steps are kind of cool, if we leave the steps there and
Yeah.
put like a informational thing there about the meeting house and its history, and then move the, mural over there and do like a little history park. Mary was gonna do a little history garden over here, because she has some plants that are like native back to like, I don't know, I think when we were like 1721, like when the town was set up. So we had talked about maybe working with the school, to do the history garden, and just make it like a little history park with different stick and stuff. But if we want to like maybe see if we can sell the benches for like a certain amount and the money goes towards that. I don't know if that would be fine, but I have had people ask about them.
it's gonna be one of those things that, you know, we could get 20 grand for the benches, but it only, about timing.
I was thinking like $50 a bench, so I don't know.
Somewhere between the two points.
Exactly, somewhere between $50 and $20,000. It's somewhere in there. Bigger than a bread box, smaller than a house.
Like anything, we would make something. It's still not gonna be a profit, but we still have to feed and bring it down.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody wants to buy them, I mean, it's called Strawberry Village, it's just important.
I don't know if the benches are that old though. I'm not sure.
We could lie.
Just, they were bought right before the church was taken out of commission, so we'll just peel the IKEA stickers off of them.
It just came with the church.
I don't know how old they are. I don't know if they're authentic or not. I can't remember what they look
Well, they have at least a century's worth of
like. All right, so that's the meeting house. The procurement policy.
Hold on a second,
No,
I'm guessing these are church pews.
Yeah.
These are not designed for comfort.
they're not.
No, they're Protestant, there's no, you're supposed to be uncomfortable.
They're just.
No, and I would like to refer to item number 2 on our meeting minutes. I think 3 benches right here, keep the meeting short.
They just go along the wall when we're not using them.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, procurement policy. I think everyone has a copy.
Yep.
That's the first draft, so just read it and we'll get back to it.
Scan through.
Yeah. Next, new business. All right, so the plumbing in the basement. So we have old copper piping down there. We can go on a tour after if you want, but it's thin copper piping. I'm not sure how long it's been down there. They keep spraying leaks that make flooding down there, and
What is the word is acidic.
that's right. This is what I learned. Yeah,
Acidity causes the.
Yep. This is what I did
Yeah.
learn from have a plumber that comes in and fixes stuff, and he was, the last time, he was like, I don't know if I can keep fixing this. You might want to think about redoing it
Replacing
all.
with PEX.
Yes, so I was like, that's what I was thinking. We'd like to move forward with doing that, changing the piping to PEX. We also learned that the water tank and the water heater, they're not code compliant because they are
Of course not.
where they're located, they're too close to the electric box, so they need to be moved. And there's rust, or the water tank needs to be replaced anyway. And the heater was replaced in 2017, so it's reached its end of life, so it should be replaced anyway. So I would like to continue getting some quotes on the cost of the replacing the pipes, which is also going to include separate later on sheetrocking, because the walls are going to be, the walls are going to have to get knocked down in the bathrooms to replace the pipes in there.
There's no asbestos. There's no asbestos.
So it's going to be kind of a little expensive, but it can be done where one bathroom's closed and one bathroom's open, so it won't affect the town hall. And it can be done in a way that it's not longer going to affect being open. And it's going to include a filter, because we did water tests and what we said was right. So it will include a filter, because there's also sediment too, so it'll protect the, yeah.
So,
It'll protect for the future. There'll be filters in there that'll get changed.
and I'm not saying not it. And be very clear, but then we get into, we have to have, someone's gonna have to regularly check it.
Yeah.
And change the filter.
So we just have to remember to have a plumber do that. So
Change the filter?
just regularly check it and change the
I
filter.
get scared. What do you mean, plumber?
I have a whole house filter and it's a monthly. My 90-day filter is
I'm
last
an
1 month.
appointed filter person.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's Ron. Ron's our town hall.
Yeah, I'm not picking on Ronnie. I'm sure he'd be like, I'll do that.
So that's probably a position we'll have to code keep for the. So,
One thing I would ask is if you put the drywall down in the men's room, he sticks to the border.
oh, yeah, both bathrooms. We keep saying, but they keep moving it. Bathroom. And the ducks, and though it's in the girls' bathroom.
Is yellow neutral enough? So, because we're gonna have a unisex.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my plan. Then this leads into the next thing, which is on
Wait
here.
permits?
No, it's not. This came up after we did the agenda, so it goes along with the plumbing, because it's town hall renovations.
Yep.
We need,
So we don't actually, is that officially on the agenda that we published?
what?
Town hall renovations?
No.
Then I make a motion that we add town hall renovations to the agenda under new business after plumbing.
All right, so town hall renovations is added to the agenda for next. We've been slowly chipping away at the town hall renovations since I've been here. The basement was worse, believe it or not.
There was a stream down there.
There still is a stream, but it's actually not as
It's
bad as it
a little
was.
tiny stream,
It was
it's a
always.
It's a tiny stream, and we also used to have a waterfall.
We all through the electrical
Yeah,
panel.
right over the electrical
And
panel.
we found out that that's still there.
Because when the plumber was down there doing stuff, the sump pump, because there was actually water down there when the last week we had, it was huge. And the sump pump went off. And when the sump pump went off, the water started pouring out of the electrical panel. So he was like, he's like, I think that something's wrong with the way your sump pump works. So.
Because it was a pipe.
It's right outside. I can show you. We can go on a field trip.
Yeah, I know I remember that where the pipe is, because it was the pipe that connected the town hall to the library.
No, there's
for-
actually, but you can actually see, because we were out there today, because I was trying to figure out, like, I had.
Let's put it on the post-meeting tour of problem items.
You can actually see where the pipe is for the sump pump. It comes out of the wall and it goes right into the hole where the electric
It's
stuff
real.
is. It really does. And we think that it actually, we had the roof done, I don't know how long, I think when Bob was still here, or right after.
Right after, like 2017,
Yeah,
2018.
Yeah.
they had the roof redone and they did the gutters, and we think that that pipe was attached to the gutter. But when they redid the gutters, they never put the pipe back there, so it's like broken, it's going to the electrical, so that needs to be fixed. We can add it to the plumbing actually. But the brickwork, we know is needed to be done for a long time. All the bricks, yeah, because the cement's like turning into crumble. So it all needs to be redone, and some of the bricks are broken. So bricks need
And
to
I'm
be,
sure we're ripping that mass off.
that
with the
whole
truck.
side is bad, and when we go out there, all of the wires are still hanging down. We can't fix that until we fix the bricks, because there's nothing to attach the wires to. So out in the chimney is where the water's coming in now, because we did have it fixed, but somehow it's not fixed again. It needs to be somehow sealed and shut down. So we have that.
The chimney, because we no longer have it. and you can
Yeah,
talk
it can
about
be sealed up and
Yeah,
taken, that's where all the water's coming in now when we get rain. So that needs to be done.
That and the electrical panel.
The electrical panel, well, we think once we get.
well, that's kind of the dividing line between the plumbing work and the general town hall renovations, because, you know, the water falls through that.
And we have to check the electrical stuff too and make sure that there's stuff that's not really damaged, because if it's really rusty, it could need to be fixed. So anyway, this all comes down to a town hall renovation project. We want to try and get it done, so that, because that's what's been happening since before I was here, is that it's just been patched up and patched up and patched up, and nothing, it
We need
lasts.
to actually fix it now.
Yeah, we need to
rather than
actually
just-
fix
It's the
things.
VT work.
Yeah, we need to fix
You be green, beyond water, it's good.
it. So,
Well, like the truck hitting the Forge Hill Bridge, the truck taking out the line and ripping the mast off, there we go.
Yeah.
We have our trigger event to say, no, we're gonna fix it.
so we've been working with Zano Associates. They're the ones that did our roof project. I would like to reach out to them and see if they can help us assess and prioritize what needs to be done. So we can focus, we have to take the oil tank too. We have the old oil tanks before we put the electric,
Mini splits.
yeah, before we put those in, we had oil tank. We still have to drain and remove the oil tank. And we have that step that's not code compliant that everyone, I'm afraid, is gonna fall out of. So that needs to be done, and of the concrete between the the library, all of the cement needs to be redone. The walkways are all rotted down. So that's, but I would like to reach out to Dana and see if they're interested in helping us with complete like a project. And so we can break it up into pieces and work on it. And prioritize what, because some things you need to have done before you do others, and I don't know really anything about that. I think
You do until you sit down to meet with them and they start talking a
yeah,
different
and I'm
language.
like, okay, I guess we should do that. So,
And I'm not picking on you.
no, I know, I'm not a, yeah,
Yes.
or a fix-it person, so. I know it things need to be fixed, but I don't know how to do it.
Is it the water pouring out of the electric box?
And the pipes like constantly like flooding, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. No, I think that's a great idea. Let's,
and we were talking about breaking it up into small projects instead of going out to bid as a large project. Instead of smaller projects, we can hire more specialized people for that project instead of smaller businesses instead of going out for like a larger bid and then having that larger bid subcontract everything out. And then not knowing what you're gonna get, so. That's what that would be.
Actually getting these same small businesses, but not paying them directly and, paying without paying the overhead.
Right.
I've done one of the classes, and that's one of the suggestions they said, to start breaking your projects down so that smaller business can now bid on municipal projects that they wouldn't be able to afford. They can't be the GCU the entire project, but they can be fun. Just get people near town to work rather than.
Is that another reason also, even the bigger companies for doing these kind of projects, just because they have downtime slow periods? So if you're looking for some people who are busy, and guys that do sheet rock are pulling their thumbs because you're not going to get sheet rock to do a small project. Yeah, it's cool.
Driveway permits for Brown Road.
Is this the development?
Yep. So we got 4 driveway permits for Brown Road. 98 Brown Road, 102 Brown Road, 110 Brown Road, and 114 Brown Road. The applications have been submitted and they put their deposit in for all 4 of them. I went out today with Public Works and reviewed their driveway plans with Zachary, who's the contractor. They wanted to make sure that they were being done correctly, because we had a couple of plans that were done already, not being done right. It's actually going to fix one of them. The one on the top one. It didn't have, but their pavement wasn't thick enough. So it's not, the pavement's not done correctly, it leaves issues with the plow. If the plow just catches it, it can pull their whole driveway head up. For us, for their, so I went out there today and talked to them and inspected 4 of the driveways. I would like to approve the application for 3 of them, because the one on 114 Brown Road, he doesn't know where that driveway is going to go yet, because he's still trying to figure out where the sewer is going to go, and there's a telephone pole away, so he's got to get that one. Yeah. What did I say? Yeah. So I told him we would hold on that one and not approve it yet until I knew exactly where his driveway was going to be. So we'll hold on to that one until he's ready. But I would like to approve the permits for 98, 102, and 110 Brown Road.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the applications for the driveway permit for 98 Brown Road, 102 Brown Road, and 110 Brown Road. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, they're approved. And then last, for new business, we received a ARPA fund request from the Baptist Church. You all have copies in front of you, and I have some of their quotes too. They're still waiting to get more quotes as well.
So the one price listed in here, is that just one of the quotes?
That's probably the highest.
Okay, the 29,617.
Yeah. And it's broken in pieces too, because that's the full project quote. But it comes down to they need a new well over there. They don't have any. They can't barely do anything at the same time over there right now. The Baptist Church is our emergency shelter, and it is the shelter for the school if the school has to evacuate. It's their shelter there as well. If anything happened at the school right now, there's no way they would be able to have the whole school over there without having plumbing problems.
Without the
and they won't have water. So I told her I didn't know. We've been moving, the ARPA funds have been moving parts. I don't know how much we have to, that we haven't already dedicated to, help them. But I said we would review it and, get back to them. So, but, they do, anytime we have, a weather emergency, they do open the church for, water and charging,
And Wi-Fi.
and Wi-Fi and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
They
Sandy and Irene, a lot of people were working on it. 7 to 8 days after we were down.
So, everyone can review this. I have, it's gonna require, they have an old well over there because there used to be a house, where the garage is or shed.
Yeah.
So they do have a well back there they can tap into, but the costs are gonna cover putting the piping through, the electrical through, and putting everything together. So that's what their costs are. And it's broken down into a bunch of different, projects.
So is, I saw in here that they said that, through membership donation, they can do a 50% match. Is that 29, the 50%, or is that the full amount? And then let's call that $30,000. And if we couldn't do the 30, if we could do the 15, would that work for them?
Okay.
So, I mean, if we can do the 30, I'd love for us to be able to do the 30 for that.
All right, yeah, so if you want to review this and review everything, because we have to, I also explained to her that we would kind of have to head the project like we would because they don't have to, well, they might, because Martha would probably be the one overseeing. But I don't know, it might, because we have to make sure that they have everything done per the federal guidelines for the grant. So, that would include going out to bid if they need to, and I think they're breaking it down in smaller projects. I might not fit the guidelines under the main template, so we have to get
I'm just wondering, like, they may have done bids for this.
they went out and got bids.
Okay. So those bids would be normal private contractors rate. Since this is ARPA money,
Yeah.
it's gonna be capped probably.
Yeah.
They don't need wage. They may well find out that in order to meet the federal requirement, it's not $29,000,
Yeah.
$30,000, it's $75,000, $80,000. That would be a question too.
There's a certain limit, the project has to be over a certain dollar amount to hit prevailing wage. I don't know offhand what it is.
That was going to keep our projects
I
small.
think it's pretty high too, like 100.
I think it's like 100,000 or something.
So at
I'm
29.
not sure it's that high because the Jewett City Slater Library in Jewett City was trying to do some work.
I think they
That was like
recently
$1,000.
changed it.
And the project was $40,000 or something. And they found out, oh, no, capped probably at double the cost.
We'll look into that.
So, just, information I get before we start.
Yeah, so we can put this on the next agenda, and if we have any more questions, I can ask Martha.
Yep.
So she can answer them. And then that's all I have.
We have executive session is just as a placeholder.
Yeah, it's not, we don't have it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor of adjourn?
Aye.
All right.
Field trip. We may now begin our field trip of despair. Disaster.
We'll start